All right, and Go Home TV. We're welcoming Matt Lionetti to the Zoom, not to the cellar, but to the Zoom. We have a place here called the Cellar. It's our studio, our video studio, and we call it the Cellar. But when we do the Zoom, we're just like welcoming you right to the Zoom.
Nice.
So Matt Lionetti, I am very excited because I have spent the morning watching your little short videos on Instagram. They're so funny. So we wanted to have you on to find out a little bit about you, what makes you tick and how you think of some of this stuff. How long have you been doing the Instagram videos for?
About 2.5 years now. I've been in the industry for 5 years and been doing the videos for 2.5. And before the videos, I was just kind of like a, here and there, would do a couple deals. I was doing nothing. And I was almost thinking about leaving the business because I was just having no success. And then once I did the videos, everything kind of changed for me. And I was told by many people not to do them because they're unprofessional and no one would take me seriously. But I went for it anyways. And it worked.
Were they right or were you right?
I was right.
You went with your gut. Like, how could it get worse, right? You weren't doing any business anyway.
That was my exact mentality.
Oh, there's your dog's butt.
Yes, that's David Bowie.
Oh, okay. David Bowie, like on your shirt. Okay, I love David Bowie.
Yes.
Same. You named your dog David Bowie. That's so funny.
Yeah. Yeah, he's legit. He's my best friend.
Yeah, we only see his, we see not the best side of him.
He's a whippet. He's a whippet lab mix. He's a pretty cool guy. But so I did that. I mean, I just really bet on myself and exactly what you said. There was nothing, it could only, by posting the videos, it wasn't going to do any more harm, because I was just doing no business. So I thought I'd just go for it. And then it worked out. I always have been a fan of comedy and stuff, but I never kind of pursued it in any way. My dad is really funny. We would spend tons of nights just watching stand-up comedy and comedy movies. But yeah, it was nothing. I just liked making people laugh.
All right. So let me give everybody a little background. All right. Matt's a real estate agent. He's up in Toronto. He's freezing his tuchus off. He's not doing any business. And did you have another gig? I mean, how were you paying your bills?
No. So when I started, I lived at home still. So I was fortunate enough, but I was working at Sunglass Hut and I was like, I was a star at Sunglass Hut. I mean, I sold like $60,000 worth of sunglasses in 4 months. Like I was like,
wait a second. Wait, back up. You sold $60,000 worth of sunglasses in the grayest place on earth.
Yeah, exactly.
The place where the sun doesn't shine. You're a guy, you know who you are? You're a guy who could sell ice to Eskimos.
I think I could. I think I could at this point. I mean, I was like, they still give me 50% off sunglasses. This was 7 years ago now. I mean, I probably have a poster on the wall or some shit there. But so I was doing that. And then as soon as I got my license, I quit the job. I had no money still. I had like $700 in the bank and a $900 phone bill. So I was in the negative right away. And I just thought, I need to make it work. So like I said, I was living at home. So I didn't have a mortgage to pay or anything, just like my phone bill and my car. But no, it was dicey. And I started on Teams too. So I wasn't doing a lot of business. And then I was splitting that 50-50. So it was a dicey road for the first 2 years for sure.
So what was the inspiration? Let me just tell everybody, you have an insane amount of Instagram followers. You do a lot and you didn't do a lot of following. So you got these followers organically. You've got a lot of really influential people following you. You wind up on a lot of different shows like this one. But, what made you go, I'm just going to start a marketing campaign and that marketing campaign is going to be Instagram. What made you pick Instagram, or didn't you? Did you pick TikTok or?
No, I picked Instagram. It's just the platform I was most comfortable with.
Did you understand the algorithm before you picked it? Like, did you know that you were going to have to post a certain amount of times and get a certain amount of attention to get more attention? Did you understand the algorithm, or were you just like potluck?
No, I knew nothing. I knew nothing about anything. I had no clue how anything worked. And I just thought, if I can create content that people liked, if you build it, they will come. That was my mentality in the beginning. since then, I have really taken time to really learn the algorithm. I'm partners with the broke agent now, who is like a genius at all this stuff. So I'm fortunate enough to learn from him. And no, but I knew nothing. And that's what, like, a lot of people always get in their own way when they're trying to start this shit. It's just like they always have to, oh, I need a better camera and I need to understand the hashtags. I need to understand how many times to post before they can do anything. I just kind of went for it and figured it out as I went.
So raw talent.
I guess you can say that.
I love that. And does it work? Does it work for business? I mean, does it make you money?
Yeah. So, I mean, now it's cool. I'm on a bit of it's kind of changed my entire career because I've always wanted like passive income as well. So it's definitely brought me real estate business. That's for sure. But now I have, a podcast that's fully monetized. We're sponsored. We have merch. We have a course coming out. So I'm making a lot of income just from Instagram that has nothing to do with actual commission or business, which is cool. But yeah, it's brought me a lot of business. My main video that I always talk about is I did a Freddie Mercury video. It was way back.
I just watched it. It was so funny.
Thank you. So I did that one. It was February 2020, and it cost me $300. And since then, I've made about $100,000 worth of commissions from that one video that I can, direct right back to that video. So that's me just dressing up like Freddie Mercury, who's my favorite artist of all time. But
one of my faves too.
Yeah, he's just like the best. I always have gravitated towards those type of people that just like, they just give it their all, and they always kind of stick out from what's going on. So I love people like Freddie Mercury, Conor McGregor, Steve Jobs, Muhammad Ali, just people like that. I just have always been super inspired by. But
so are you a real estate agent first and then a podcast internet star, or are you both? Or how do you think of yourself more now?
I don't think I'm a star.
You are.
I think
you're hysterical.
I'm a real estate agent. And I've niched down on certain content, and that's the best way to get a following. When I niched down on the content, everything got broader for me. And I think a lot of people don't realize that at first. They want to try and be as broad as possible. But when you're as broad as possible, you're just like everyone else.
Yeah.
So when I niche down, I swear in the videos and I don't really have a filter, so that can draw people away.
That's the best way.
Yeah, but then it also brings people, like those like-minded people, really attracts them and brings them in. So as soon as I niche down, everything got broader for me. But yeah, I just think I'm a real estate agent who does Instagram videos.
Okay. So when you go on a listing appointment, do you show people your videos, or do you wear a suit, or do you just kind of wear your Bowie or your Duran Duran t-shirt? Like, what do you do when you go on a listing appointment?
It depends. A lot of people don't know I love fashion. I have a ton of suits and stuff. And I just like to surprise people sometimes. I'll whip them out sometimes not. It depends on the client. You have to be somewhat of a chameleon in this business while staying yourself.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm not going to show a 90-year-old couple my videos because that's going to bring no value to them. They're not going to understand that that's doing anything because they're old school. Right. But yeah, of course, like if I'm on an appointment with people my age, which is 30, of course, I have
outed yourself, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to bring everything, like all the algorithm, everything, all my insights on Instagram, and show them how many views these videos are getting, because that's going to bring value to them. And that's a lot of people around me don't have that. I'm fortunate enough to have around 40,000 followers now. So I can use that in my listing appointment. That's just one more thing that's going to just bring me and set me apart from everyone else who's, everyone kind of says the same thing on listing appointments now. So if there's anything you can say that's going to kind of grab someone's attention, you have to use it. So also, I don't really go on many listing appointments anymore. This is something that these videos have done. I get people, they reach out and they want to work with me. So they've already made their mind up.
Wow, that's
So
awesome.
I'm not really.
Because you're fun and they just want to be around you, right?
Yeah. So
Yeah, people like fun people.
I think so. Like, like people say, oh, your videos are funny, but they bring no value. And I always say,
No, that's not true, because you have a lot of very insightful things in those videos that tell people, that what you're talking about. And even though you're making fun of other people or you're bringing it, you're totally bringing it that you get that they shouldn't have like magenta carpet, or they should make the bed before they do the
subtly
you get it.
There's undertones of that, but even more than that, like people reach out all the time. They say, oh, you know what, your videos made me laugh so hard today. I was having such a bad day, and then I watched one of your videos and it made it all better. So I make people feel happy, and I always argue that that's some of the most value you can bring someone, is just make them feel good. I mean, it's more than statistics and market updates. You just need to be more than that now in this business. They can see through the bullshit. So, it's been interesting because it really just started as a joke, all of this, all these videos. And it's been cool to kind of navigate and see where the path has taken me.
I think the joke is on the people who don't get what you did.
Yeah.
I'm serious when I say this, because when I watch your videos, and hopefully after people watch this, they'll go and watch some of your videos and see some of the things you said. Basically, all of the parody that you bring to the table demonstrates your knowledge and demonstrates perhaps the lack of knowledge of some others that you've seen in your market. So I really think that, I mean, you could have just done funny stuff that was stupid and didn't really demonstrate any value on your part, but you figured out a way. I don't know if you did it on purpose or not. It was just, like you said, it was just a joke, but I think you have a little more skill than you want to give yourself credit for if you think that you just did it as a joke, because it's really pretty good.
Thank you.
I like it a lot.
Thank you.
I have a really important question for you. We're going to put this out on Valentine's Day. Okay, and you said that you were married. So what I want to know is, if you're doing anything special, are you going to bust out the Duran Duran t-shirt for Valentine's Day?
Yeah, it might be. That's one of my favorite shirts. That's one of my go-tos. So it could be a go-tos? Pair of Duran Duran shirt, pair of jeans, and some boots.
All right. So what's harder, to get a listing right now or to get a table at a restaurant for Valentine's Day? What's harder?
Well, where I am, restaurants just opened again. So probably a table at a restaurant.
Restaurants just opened again?
Yeah, we were just in like full lockdown. We just got out today.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
No,
so we're good.
I didn't realize it was still in lockdown up there.
Yeah, it's going off and on. It's is what it is. But yeah, restaurants just opened today. So I think it's going to be kind of hard to get one on Valentine's Day.
Yeah, you got to make that thing a year in advance and make sure they don't close beforehand.
Yeah.
So you got to learn how to cook, is really.
Yeah, we have learned how to cook. My wife more so than me, but I have a couple dishes. I have a couple good dishes.
All right. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So just tell me a little more. I want to do a little bit deeper dive into real estate up in Toronto. Tell me what the market is doing up there. What is happening in Toronto? Is it hot?
Yeah, it's not.
I was hot.
The weather's not hot.
No, but is the market hot?
Yeah. Yeah. The market is insane. It's like we have like an all-time low of inventory right now. So it's just, I mean, we're seeing things. I live about 40 minutes outside of Toronto, just east of Toronto.
Yeah.
And even here, like, a townhouse is 900 grand, 950 type deal and that's 40 minutes out of the city. So when you get into the city, you're just, and not only that, we're seeing things go this is on the norm, 200,000 over ask, 300,000 over ask. Yeah. Some 500,000
200,000 Canadian dollars over ask though. So yeah. That's like less American dollars.
Oh yeah. That's like 7,000 American.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's some things are going $500,000 over ask. There was one the other day, it was listed at 1.2 and sold for 2 million. Like, there's just no inventory.
No, there's no, I just did a video about there being no inventory, and it got like a huge amount of views in a really short amount of time
Yeah.
because the inventory is less than half of what it normally is. And everyone's freaking out. They're like, oh my God, interest rates, the prices are going to go down, the bubble's going to pop. I'm like, how? There's nothing to buy. There's still too many buyers. There's a lot of cash. I mean, how much cash are you seeing?
Yeah, there's so many buyers, and my buyers are having such a hard time right now. And like I said, these are healthy budgets too. I'm talking like 1.3, 1.5, and they cannot get into the market. Like it's so hard.
So why do you think that the inventory is in such bad shape? Like, what do you think really caused it? Not just the lockdowns, but what in the deep sense of what's happening, what's causing this shortage?
I don't like from what I'm like when I'm talking to sellers, a lot of people who are thinking of selling, they're like, yeah, we can list it, but where are we going to go? That's the main question.
Yeah,
And
there's nowhere to go.
That's
There's
what's
nowhere to
scaring
go.
people because I mean, more so now people are working from home. So people who maybe had to live in Toronto don't anymore. So we're seeing that's another thing that's happening directly in my area, which is 40 minutes east of Toronto. A lot of people now where, you know, Toronto, a townhouse is say 2 million.
Mhm.
Here, a townhouse is 900,000. But it was, you know, a year and a half ago, a townhouse here was 500,000. So what we're seeing is Toronto money come out east and just kind of blow up and inflate this market. And it's just a lot of people from Toronto who are seeing, you know, $900,000 for a townhome. That's a deal in their eyes. But people who are from this area are like, oh my God, $900,000 for a. So we're just kind of catching up to everywhere around. But yeah, I really think it's just the main thing is they have nowhere to go.
Relocation. No one really needs to relocate for their job now because they can work from home.
Yeah.
So it causes a lot more people to stay planted. What about building? I mean, I know you have a really short building season in Toronto, and I'm in Florida, and we have a long building season, but we still don't have any inventory because of the shortage of building materials. There's a shortage of labor. There's a shortage of land. There's a shortage of zoning. You know, just there's a backlog because there was such a long recession from 2008 to the like 2015, 2016, where a lot of building didn't happen. And when that building didn't happen, people were still being born and graduating high school and college and getting new jobs. So and then the older generation is staying put sort of, right? They're not really moving up or out either. So that's causing like this backlog in the middle to create a huge inventory shortage everywhere. But are you seeing that exact same thing in Toronto where there was a shortage of building for a really long time and now the builders can't catch up?
Yeah, I mean, that's like one of the plans, like a 10-year plan that they're going to be just building way more affordable housing because it's just getting, and in Toronto, I mean, they're essentially out of land to build like any type of, the only way they're building is up now, you know? So, and that's why we're seeing way more either high-rise condos or even further out of Toronto, you're seeing more, 3-story townhomes because they're building up. They don't want to take up as much land. They can get more units on there. And that's what we're seeing. But yeah, there's something needs to happen. But
so what do you think needs to happen? What can happen? I mean, I've been racking my brain thinking, all right, what's going to happen? What is going to make this dam break, or at least, you know, loosen it up a little? What do you think needs to happen?
I have some opinions that I don't know if all agents agree with, but I think we should here at least get rid of blind bidding. I just think it's not necessary anymore.
Explain what you mean.
So like when you're in multiple offers, we're always in multiple offers. And it's not like 2 offers, 3 offers. It's like 15, 20, 30 offers. So when you have that many offers, it's like, you know, a lot of the times the agent will go, okay, well, you're in the top 3. But what does that mean? Are we in the top 3 with, you know, $1,000 apart from everyone? Or is there $50,000 apart from everyone? So like, you're putting so much more money on the table that like, okay, if I'm at 950 and we're in the top 3, do I go to $1 million? You know, so like everyone else could have been at 952, 953, but now we've gone up to say 970.
Well,
So
that's why they do it. They want the highest and best.
they want the highest and best for sure. And
Like,
that's
what's the
great for
most
the
you're willing to
seller.
pay for this house? Right?
Yeah. I just wish if
what
there
they
was no
want.
blind bidding, I mean, there'd just be more auction style. And you could tell your clients, oh, listen, they've bid 950. They're the top. Do you want to go higher or not?
Well, you could be an auction broker. We actually have, I'm with My State MLS, which is a nationwide MLS down here for real estate in the States. And we have a lot of real estate brokers who are also auctioneers, and they list the house as an auction, like with a starting bid. And then they actually have this software they put on their website, which will show, where the last bid was. So there are some real estate brokers who do that. Do they do that in Toronto at all?
No, it's in Australia. I know that I have a couple friends down there and they only have like auction style. That's how they get like their multiple offers. But no, everything here is blind. And I think it's definitely not the only thing that's causing this inflation, like not at all.
Mhm.
But I just think there's a lot of agents who don't do it properly, and it's kind of sketchy sometimes. And I just wish it would be more out in the open.
Are you having a lot of competition from investors there? We are here, so
Yeah, a ton of
like big
so they're
Wall Street money is coming in. They're buying up, single family houses, and they're outbidding people who just want to live there. Is that happening in Toronto?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And they're just like unloading money because they need to for tax purposes. Yeah. So like
pallets were printed, so now we got to put it somewhere, right?
Yeah.
Like a hard asset. Yeah.
And it's so they're trying to implement more tax things for investors to make it not as easy, because people need places to live, right? And a lot of investors are coming in just renting them out, or just parking their money there and flipping it or whatever they're doing.
Yeah, so I agree that's happening. I think I'm not sure it's the best thing for the market. But I think investors are always good for the market in when they come in and buy up foreclosures, or they buy up, excess inventory. But when they keep the market from having inventory, I think that's kind of a problem. So, so I want to get back to your podcast. How long have you been doing the podcast?
A year. It's with the broke agent, and we just decided to do it. Pretty much like the videos. We decided to do it, and in the next couple of weeks we had 2 podcasts filmed, and the first 2 guests were Jordan Cohen, who's the #1 Remax agent in the world, and Ryan Serhant, who's on $1 Million Listing. So those were our first 2 guests, and we used those guests to leverage the rest of our guests. So we've had some pretty influential and famous people in the industry on, and we just try and have valuable conversations, but make it funny too, because we're just idiots.
Do you just riff?
Oh,
Are you a riffer?
Yeah.
Can you do some riffing for us?
I don't know. No, it just depends. Whatever comes up, comes up. Sometimes the episodes are more serious. Sometimes if we see a little
they just come into your head and that's it.
We just go for it. Never know what you're going to get with us.
Well, that's the best way.
Yeah.
Before I got into real estate, I was a disc jockey on the radio. And every show was different. Sometimes I just open my mouth and stuff would just fall out.
Yeah. It's all about the tone.
And I pick it back up and stuff it back in there.
Yeah.
I don't know. Before the internet, there was no one had a tape of it but me.
Yeah, exactly. That'd be fun.
Yeah. Oh, but when you get bit by the radio bug, I'm going to tell you, and you probably already know this, because even though you're doing a podcast, you're essentially doing a radio show, even if it's video or not. When you hit that radio bug and you just have so much fun with it, there's just something about it. You just don't want it to end. You just keep going on with it.
Yeah.
So, I totally get that. All right. So tell us what your plans are for the future. How do you plan on continuing to grow your real estate business? Do you have any plans to venture out of Instagram and into TikTok or Facebook or YouTube? Or are you just like a niche? Are you like that Instagram niche kind of guy?
No, I've started going on TikTok, but I'm just cross posting anything from Instagram right now. I'm going to start doing more YouTube because we need to. the broke agent and I are going to be doing some YouTube shows and stuff like that. We're also just building that brand. We're really working hard to build the broke agent brand into, we want to make it into the Barstool Sports of real estate, which is, I think is very possible. So we have a lot of exciting things coming. Like I said, we have like a fun interactive course coming out that's being coached by some of the top agents in North America. And we're going to make that funny. And we got the podcast and the merch. And yeah, I mean, I'm just going to keep doing these videos to utilize and leverage my business. Like, I always tell people I only do video. Like, I just do Instagram. I don't do anything.
Yeah.
For
you
business.
It's your marketing. That's your marketing. That's it.
Yeah. I don't
That's
cold call. I don't door knock. I don't, I've always been the most comfortable when people come to me. So I was the best. I always had the best conversions at open houses before the pandemic hit. And I was always, once the pandemic hit and no one knew what was going on those first couple months, like I was like, I need to figure out how people can come to me. And this was my solution for that. And I use it solely to start conversations. People post too much on social media to ask for business. I never ask for business. I try and entertain, bring any type of value I can, and start conversations. And
have you always been funny? Do you work at it, or does it just come to you? Because not everybody's funny.
Yeah, I don't know. And that's another thing. People always ask, like, I want to do creative content, but I'm not funny. Well, you don't have to be funny. If you aren't funny and you try and be funny on camera, it's cringy and weird, and people know you're uncomfortable, right? So, no, I don't know. I just, like I said, I do work at it, and I watch a lot of comedy and stand-up comedy and stuff like that. And I'm always trying to get better. I'll never release a video that I'm not happy with or proud of. And I just want to be, I also don't compare myself to other agents. I compare myself to people I know is just crazy to compare to. So I look at myself I'll look at comedian podcasts, and I compare our podcast to a comedian podcast or an actor or something. And that's so far out from, I know they're doing way more and way, way better than what we're doing, but I always feel like you should compare yourself to something that's seems so out of reach, because I think if you do that, you'll be able to, get better. And a lot of people look at just the industry for inspiration. I think there's a lot more inspiration to be had. So we try and bring, a lot of pop culture into our content as well and make it relevant for more people than just the industry. So I think you can find inspiration anywhere for video.
So what's your time management like? Because it takes a lot of time to do these videos. I don't think people understand. They just watch it and wow, I just watched that and it was 30 seconds and I'm entertained. And meanwhile, you spent 8 hours making it, right? And meanwhile, people are calling you and they want to see houses and you got to do listing appointments and everything. So how do you do that time management?
Once you understand what it is you want to do and the audience that you're trying to attract, like my first couple videos, you'll see like some were great and then some weren't so great. And then usually when you post a couple that aren't good, people stop posting them because they're discouraged. But that to me was like the trial and error process where I could really tailor my content to figure out why did people like all these and why didn't they like this? And then you can tailor to your audience. And once you tailor to your audience and you keep doing it over and over, like these videos, they all in all, like the last 3 videos I've done, that they've gone almost 1 million views with those 3 videos, or like 700,000 views. They took maybe an hour each to film, edit, and post. Yeah, like it's
wow,
because you get it down. You just kind of understand what you're doing, and there's no wasted time anymore. So even for some of my more in-depth ones, where I did like one with the Say Anything boombox, where I was standing outside of the person's house, or some that I actually hire videographers for, that's all storyboarded and scripted. So when I go into a place, I know exactly what room I'm going to be filming in. I know exactly what I'm going to say, because I don't want wasted time of me thinking of what I'm going to do. I'm just prepared for the video. And like I said, yeah, like a lot of those videos are filmed. The last video on my page right now, literally it's 15 seconds long. It got like 380,000 views and it took me 15 seconds to record. Like, it doesn't have to be a whole thing, you know?
Right. So just as time goes on, it just gets easier because you're in your rhythm. Did you take down those videos that didn't perform, or did you leave them up just for posterity?
Sometimes I take them down if they're just really not performing.
Yeah.
But no, you can see, like, if you go way down on my page, you can see before the videos, you can see me trying to find my voice. You can see videos when I wasn't funny at all. Stuff like, I just keep it all on because, you know, I think people.
That reminds me of what you're talking about. You used to watch a TV show and you'd watch the pilot, and the actors and actresses and the characters would look so weird. And then by the fourth season, they had their rhythm, they had their inside jokes, and they just looked like completely different people. Yeah. And then you go back and watch the pilot and you're like, wow, this was bad. How did this even get taken up as a show? Like, what? Like, why did anybody even spend money on this?
It's hard to watch.
The first show was great.
Yeah, exactly. And people don't understand, like, they think, I definitely did work at what I'm doing now. And I feel the content is better now than what it was when I started. But people will try and do with whoever they want to compare themselves to. There's, some fantastic agents, Glenda Baker, Taya DeCarlo, they do amazing content too. People that are just starting video are automatically comparing themselves to them. And those people are on season 6, they're on their pilot episode, these people. So they need to understand that, okay, it's going to get better. You're going to get looser. You're going to kind of understand the camera more. So people you have to go through that feeling out process. You're not just going to hit one video and just be the best of all time. It's a work in progress. Yeah.
When you first started, did you feel weird doing it, or, did you feel uncomfortable and then all of a sudden you just weren't anymore?
I felt so when I got into the industry, I thought I was getting in, like a lot of people. I thought I had a good personality, and I was going to hang my hat on that. And then when I got into the industry, ironically, I lost all my personality. I was trying to be something else and just be what everyone told me to be. So that's when I was uncomfortable. You could see, I kept those videos up too, of me trying to be super serious and talk about open houses and shit like that. And that's when you can see how uncomfortable I was. When I switched to the comedy thing, I wasn't uncomfortable because that's just more my personality. And
so
I think
you just told the world to be yourself.
Yeah, you have to. And it's like so oversaid now. Like, everyone says it, but it's so true. Because like I said, people can see through that bullshit so easily. They can see when you're not that person. There's too many social outlets. They can see through whatever you're trying to do. No one's life is perfect. So why share like you have a perfect life on social? Like, a lot of my videos are about not perfect things and the not so perfect things in the industry, when so many other agents are rolling up in their Mercedes with their Gucci belts
and their pictures like nothing like themselves.
Yeah, exactly. They're pictures of them looking at their phone like they're so busy they couldn't even look up for their own fucking photo shoot.
Well, you're so refreshing. I have to tell you that I really enjoy your work and I like your attitude a lot. You kind of remind me of me a little bit, a little rebellish, a little rebel brand there. And I just know that you're going to be successful, probably more successful with your podcast than you are with real estate, because it sounds like you like that better, but you got the subject down, the real estate subject down. So you got your niche. I love what you're doing. So I'm just going to say, keep doing it. And I'm going to talk to you again. I know that we're going to have another talk, but I just really enjoyed it.
It'll be live in person next
You're going to come because you're going to come to Florida.
Yeah, I'll come to Florida.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, for sure. We're in Palm Beach Gardens. We have a studio here. So, sweet. and we welcome people all the time. It's in the other room. It's our cellar.
Awesome.
And the joke is there's no basements in Florida.
All right.
The cellar.
Nice.
But yeah, well, there's basements, but there's swimming pools because there's a high water table here.
Oh, really?
But well, yeah, you can't dig in Florida. Like, we're at sea level.
Oh, true.
So
true.
That's it. But I love it here. It's beautiful and sunny. So come down and see us. We would love to have you.
Will do.
Everybody, Matt Lionetti, you got to check him out on Instagram. He's hysterical.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for being here.